Hello and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Gold and Silver Club presenting this week's Commodity Corner, presented by myself, Phil Carr, and Nik Kalsi at the Gold and Silver Club with binary.com. Okay, so this live session today, we're going to look at a review of the commodity markets this week. We are going to be having a look at the top trades of the week on gold, silver, and oil. We'll be doing live technical analysis with you guys and live trading where possible. We'll be identifying highly profitable trade setups this week, and we'll also be looking at the week ahead, guys, so key events looking forward. So this week has been a particularly eventful week again, so lots of trade opportunities this week that we'll go through with you. So my name is Phil Carr, professional trader, trainer, and speaker. I'm the co-founder and director of the Gold and Silver Club. I specialize in teaching people how to make money from trading the most lucrative financial markets in the world, gold, silver, oil, and the commodity currencies. I've trained thousands of individuals to become independent traders and successfully manage their own investment portfolio. I'm responsible for the research and development of the Gold and Silver Club trademark strategies that have a proven track record of generating returns for traders. Also a regular contributor to a number of financial publications and speak at numerous trading seminars, webinars, and workshops. Joining me on the call is Nik Kalsi, professional trader, investment analyst, and speaker. Nik began his career within private wealth management in 2002 before making the transition into proprietary trading. Prior to co-founding the Gold and Silver Club, Nik spent over 5 years coaching professional fund managers and traders internationally for some of the world's top-tier hedge funds and investment banks. Through his first-hand relationship with some of the world's most successful traders, discovered the formula, mindset, and tools that give any individual the definitive edge to trade in any economy, and also regularly writes for a number of global business and financial publications, and has appeared frequently on financial television with myself. Okay, so with that, guys, we're going to look across and we're going to see what the gold price is, the spot price is right now. So let's just have a look. So right now we're very interesting, sitting at $1,311 an ounce. So we've got some news coming out in 57 minutes, the US core retail sales and the PPI. So we've got quite a lot of news actually later on this afternoon as well, which is going to affect gold, silver, the US dollar, and the commodity currencies. So there's a lot of potential high impact news today, and gold and silver looking very interesting at their current levels. So we'll go through that very shortly with you on the charts. So US dollar index, we'll move across to my Reuters platform very shortly to show you that. But with the US dollar index at the moment, looking interesting today. There was an inverse hammer yesterday on the daily time frame. It's getting a bit of a lift at the moment, actually, which is putting some more pressure on gold and silver. So it's doing well if you're in the gold and silver shorts. That will be positive for you, and we'll have a look at any additional setups too. Now, in terms of the commodity currencies this week, we've seen Australian USD and New Zealand USD come right against the key levels of resistance where they're still at right now. So we're at some event areas where we're either going to expect a breakout to the upside or a reversal. So we want to keep a close eye on those markets. USD CAD looks close to bottoming out at the moment, but that will be also affected by the US dollar strength today as well. So we'll be looking at that very carefully soon as well. So in terms of the bank predictions, what are the banks predicting? We can see where New Zealand US dollar is at the moment, and the banks are predicting towards the end of this quarter a further downtrend in New Zealand US dollar. They're expecting a pullback from where we are right now. So that's quite interesting to note that this was just taken last night, that the major banks have actually changed their forecast ever so slightly, but are still bearish on New Zealand US dollar. We can see Australian US dollar, although we've had a recent rally, we're right at a key level of resistance, that the major banks, again, their outlook for Q4 and going into next year is also bearish. So in line, you can see the overall downtrend, large downtrend that we've been in Australian US dollar since the beginning of the year. And we've come up to a key level of resistance at the moment. So we are keeping an eye on any sell short opportunities to trade back within the overall trend. And USD Canadian dollar, we can see USD Canadian dollar had a big sell-off, came back to a key level of support. Again, the major banks, they are fairly neutral to bullish on USD CAD. So it might be that we just hit now. You can see this key trend line on the chart where we've got higher lows and higher highs there. as we've just come up towards a level of resistance. And at the moment, actually, sorry, we're at a key level of support. So if we get supported here on USD CAD, we could then see a little bit of a lift and come back to resistance. So we'll be looking at potential opportunities to go long USD CAD if we have bottomed out now. So we'll be looking at that shortly too. Okay, so in terms of the Gold and Silver Club top commodity trades of the week, there's been a couple more just this morning actually too, but we'll just talk you through the trades that we had up to last night. So first of all, USD Canadian dollar, this is going back to next week where we had a nice box set up on the daily time frame. That really came to fruition after non-farm payroll last week. We had an absolute tanking of the US dollar index, which followed through with USD CAD. Big move to the downside, just selling entry 1.0505. We finished significantly lower than that. So a full trade for the price to be lower. That was a really nice profitable trade on USD CAD. WTI oil last Friday, non-farm payroll. We were discussing this on last week's Commodities Corner. We were looking, I think we actually know we took this trade on last week's Commodity Corner, which, this was a winning trade. It was a rise trade for the price to be higher than 109.00. We broke out 170 pips over that afternoon on non-farm payroll, finished significantly higher. Remember, your trade only needs to be 1 pip higher and you win the entire trade. To WTI oil, nice trade last Friday. Then this week we've had some interesting moves. So silver really working its way down. Key moving averages looking very bearish. We broke through support. We've broken through a couple more Fibonacci levels this week as well. Looking to see if we're going to break through another one today. So that should be decided very soon in the next hour or so, with key news coming out of America, which could give us the next move lower. So with silver, we took a full trade beginning of the week for the price to be lower than 22.99. We did break through. We came down to the next level of support. On gold, we've had a very similar situation. We broke through a major level of support. We broke through that at the 1356 area. We tested that several times on Monday and Tuesday. Couldn't get any sort of a lift. And we had an opportunity to sell short once we broke through a key Fibonacci level, came down to the next profit target below. So we were just looking for a full trade for the price to be lower than 1356. We did finish significantly lower, and that was a very clean payout as well. Remember, the price just needs to finish 1 pip lower for you to get the entire payout. We also had another gold trade just this morning, which I'll talk you through on the charts, which actually came down to 1310 overnight, which was another sell trade for the price to finish lower after it broke a major level of support. So we're going to take a look at the rise and fall trades again today, because these are very straightforward trades to take on the commodities pair, and all you need to do is finish only 1 pip higher or lower, depending on which way we want to trade it, in order to win the entire payout. So with that, guys, we are going to move on to some live technical analysis. I'm going to move on to, first of all, the Gold and Silver Club custom-built Reuters trading platform. So let me just move you. Let's just switch screens for you. Okay, so first of all, I just want to draw your attention. Bottom right-hand corner here, we have the US dollar index. Actually, before doing that, you can see the top movers of the day. We've got silver down 2.1% on the day, gold down 1.29%, Australian US dollar there down 1.3%. We've got WCI down 0.22%, and New Zealand dollar down 0.04%. So we've seen some big moves to the downside over the course of the last 24 hours, which have certainly had a big impact on gold and silver over the last 24 hours. In fact, let me just talk you through that whilst we are on my Reuters screen. Let me just talk you through the major news which has caused the news over the last few days. Okay, so just to bring you up to speed, so gold has fallen really on expectations that the Federal Reserve will start tapering this month. Gold prices dropped. They've actually dropped now 3% just yesterday, sending the metals to its biggest one-day fall in more than 2 months. Gold prices hit their daily low shortly after weekly US jobless claims were released, showing a surprising 31,000 decline in the latest reporting week. That was the lowest number since 2006. So developments on the gold and silver market, they are directly linked to what happens on the US labour market. which also influences the central bank's accommodative policy. These numbers suggested a slow but steady recovery in the US economy, which may have convinced the Fed to start reducing its stimulus program with an announcement at its upcoming FOMC meetings. That's going to be next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. That's going to be critical for gold and silver. It looks like that's already been priced in the markets at the moment with this big sell-off on gold and silver already, that they might be tapering quantitative easing. So gold plunged 3% yesterday. It's fallen even further today. Silver, huge fall yesterday, 5.11% down to 21.99, and that's fallen further today. So some tremendous moves to take advantage of on the sell short side. Traders are looking ahead to next week's FOMC meeting. Consensus is building among the markets that the FOMC could begin to taper its 85 billion monthly bond purchasing program next week. However, the opaque jobless claims data and disappointing US non-farm payroll data last week complicates an otherwise optimistic economic outlook. So, yeah, definitely the big news will be next week, the FOMC on Tuesday and Wednesday in the meetings. Looking ahead, the big question will be, will gold and silver continue to fall ahead of the meeting? It does look like these big moves are being priced in at the moment already. So we'll take a look with that, and we're going to move across to the gold and silver market. So let's first start off with silver, and we'll have a look at gold. We'll start off with gold. Okay, so what I want to draw your attention to with gold at the moment, so this is, we'll see if there's any trading opportunities very shortly, is gold has just broken out like key level after key level. So we broke this week 1356 and a Fibonacci at 1333. 1356 was the level of support, 1333 the Fibonacci level. We've come down, we came all the way to a profit target yesterday of 1333. We then broke through this level too. And over the course of yesterday, we had a retracement back to previous support, which has now become resistance, and we came down all the way overnight to our profit target for just a full trade to be lower. And we've come down to 1310 and 1307 this morning. So we can see that the market did get a bit of a bounce today at the 1304 level. On the daily time frame, we're looking a bit bearish here. On the 4-hour time frame, this candle here is bearish too. We've got like a hammer, an inverse hammer forming, which suggests we may see more downside. We've got an indecisive candle here. So we'll be looking to see if we're going to get a breakthrough, really 1307 and 1304 today. If we break through 1304, that could definitely lead us down to the next key levels here, 1297. A break below 1297 is pretty much free fall to about 1276, and there's not going to be too much stopping gold from there. If we do get data coming out of the US, which is exceptionally bearish for the US dollar index, we could see some support here on gold, and we could see a rally back to 1333. That's what could happen. However, this week we do note that the US dollar index has been going down, and gold has also been going down, and it seems to be much more to do with the FOMC next week. So you just need to be wary of that at the moment. So in terms of what we're seeing, so that's what we're looking at on gold. Moving across here to silver. Silver at the moment, a bit of indecision on the daily time frame. Come down, tested a key Fibonacci level here just this morning. So we're going to be seeing if we're going to break through this level later today on news. So we'll really be very interested in potential shorts on silver if we can get below around about 31, 35 level here today. That's going to be potential sell short opportunity. If we do get a retracement and the price comes back and reverses, we'll be looking at 22.30 to see how the price reacts at that key event area with silver. But silver looking bearish today. It's come down. It's broken a key level as well. So again, we're just waiting for more data in about 45 minutes time. We want to get more data to see where the market is moving. So the data coming out, core retail sales, and PPI is going to be coming out in 45 minutes. So that's going to be very important for the next move. Looking at New Zealand US dollar, got a nice hanging man there on the daily time frame. So you can see that's like a hammer, which is just right at the top of the range there, which can be bearish. If that closes, let's just see that on the 4 hours looking like 4 hours. Got a bit of an indecision here, hammer, and an inverse hammer here as well. We're definitely seeing some bit of a battle go on around this key resistance area. We are going to be paying a lot of attention to this to see if we get a reversal around this key resistance area, offering an opportunity to sell short, or if we're going to get a breakout from here and break above this key level of resistance at 0.817. So that is looking very interesting at the moment on New Zealand US dollar. definitely going to be one to watch over the next 45 minutes. Are we going to spike higher, break out, and then shoot for this next fib level, or are we going to get a reversal, get a sell-off, and then offer the opportunity for a swing trade all the way back down for a full trade for the price to be lower? Australian US dollar, similar situation. It is finding a little bit of support today. You can see this consolidation zone forming. Got a pin bar here, pin bar here. We are getting a whole area of consolidation at the moment. So we are waiting further direction on Australian US dollar as well. Probably going to come from the news in 45 minutes. Again, looking at similar situation. If we get a break above 0.93736, we could then be on for a rally up to the next key level, just above at 0.95. Or if we get a reversal here, we could break through some key moving averages here and just come down to the 0.918 level and possibly all the way back to the 0.913. So we're definitely at an event area for Australian US dollar too. Moving across to USD Canadian dollar. So USD Canadian dollar there at the moment. Just bring this up. USD CAD finding strength today along with the US dollar. Let's just bring up the US dollar index. Yeah, US dollar index finding a little bit of strength at the moment. We can see there, and yesterday was indecision. Today finding some strength. Similar situation really with USD Canadian dollar. So we seem to be finding some support at the moment. If I just make this a very a basic chart, let's just put this into line chart. There you go, and let's zoom this out. Okay, so if I put that into a very simple chart, line chart there, you can see here, we've just got this trend line which has been forming for quite some time now. I mean, this is a very simple sort of trend line I'm putting on here, but you can see where we're just getting higher lows, higher highs. We look like we're coming towards to test the lower end of this trend line at the moment. If we do break down a little bit lower, we would expect some support around 1.02651. However, we might just find support where we are right now. So we'll be watching that for potential. You can see here where this trend line is just meeting the current price. We'll just put that back into candles for you. Put that back in the daily. Okay, so that is what we're seeing. So that's where we're getting this bounce at the moment off this trend line. So we'd like to see a little bit more upside momentum here. Ideally, we'd like to see it break past some key moving averages to confirm a higher move. If we do get a break below 1.030 today, then that offers an opportunity to short and come back down to 1.02651. So that's what we're looking at USD Canadian dollar. Let's move across to the oil, Brent and WTI. Brent finding support. Okay, so we do have we bounced off a key moving average and a fib level on Tuesday at 1.935. And we can see at the moment just getting these higher lows forming a lot of pressure here building at this resistance. That's going to be more or less the fourth test, some key moving averages here. So if we can break above 100, let's just move this across, 111.90 and get above 112.31, we could shoot for 113.13. We're definitely starting to see, got a nice hammer on the daily time frame, some pressure build here. So it's not really ready to take just yet, but if we do get a breakout above 112, we can see that probably going to get above 112.31, 113. That's just going to be a trade for the price to be higher. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Let's look at what WTI is doing right now. Yeah, similar situation on WTI at the moment. We bottomed out at 105.54 earlier on in the week, tested that on Tuesday and Wednesday, offered an opportunity to go long for a rise trade. We come up to 108.08 on the chart here, and you can see where at the moment we just found some support at the 106.96 Fibonacci level here. So we'll be watching that today as well to see if we're going to get some potential opportunities to go long. Okay, so Brent. It's not ready yet, but it's looking quite interesting. I'm just going to bring it back. Let's see what we've got on silver in the 4 hour. Silver looking indecisive right now. And we're just going to move across to gold. So gold, definitely some indecision on gold. And gold, we actually need to refer to another broker here just to get a clear picture. We can see here where we're getting the pullback on gold actually as well. We can see where we've had this, I think the trend line has now been broken. We can see we're breaking past a lot of key moving averages. So we had a trend line in place that had been really in place over the month of August here. So we are starting to break through that now. We've broken through key moving averages. So we can just put the horizontal supports on here. There's no real support where there is a tiny bit of support here around 1330 from previous levels, but really if we get below that, there's not much to stop us from getting down to about 1296 is the next level. And below that, 1281. That correlates. I mean, that's very basic support and resistance there, but that also correlates to all key Fibonacci levels here as well. So really on gold at the moment, we do quite like that for a short, just because we have broken through this key level a little bit earlier on today, 1307. So it's broken through. I expect we're getting some profit taking at the moment, which is the reason that we are seeing this little bit of a pullback to the upside at the moment. But we're going to take that trade for a short because we're getting a better entry price at the moment. So I'm going to just set this up and get the trade all ready for you. Okay, so with gold at the moment, we are just, so I'm looking to take a short position on gold at the moment for the price to finish lower here. So gold current price 1,313. It's coming down a little bit there, but I'm looking for this to finish lower by the end of the day. So I'm giving that 9 hours, which will see us finish more or less just before the close later today. This market closes early today at 9 o'clock, so that will finish just before. Let's just double check we can get that. 9 hours after contract, so that's fine. I'll actually up that a little bit. Okay, good. So it's very clear here. I mean, we've got, for a full trade here, we've got 84% payout there. So I'm looking for a $4,000 payout for a £2,172 pound deposit there. And start time is now. I'm looking for a duration of 9 hours, so for the price to finish lower by the end of the day. And again, I'll just talk you through that. Let's go on to, this is a seasonality chart. We're just broken through a lot of key levels really at the moment, as just discussed there. You can actually, let me bring up the other chart. I think we just drew that on the other chart, didn't we? There we go. So we've broken through some key levels today, and we're probably just seeing some profit taking right now. There's no real support now until we get to around 1296, and then below that, 1281. Yes, we do have some news coming up in about 45 minutes time. So if you're extra cautious, you can wait until that news breaks. But we really like this setup because we've got a really nice price on this currently. So we're going to go for it, get best price, and so price will be low on 13.45. We're looking for a full trade. Price just needs to finish 1 pip lower today in 9 hours time, and we'll win the entire trade. Okay, and that has been executed. Fantastic. Good. Okay, so really that's probably the major setup that we're going to take at the moment until we get further news. So New Zealand US dollar, in summary, New Zealand US dollar looking very interesting around key resistance at the moment, or Australian US dollar getting near key resistance too. We're going to see whether we're going to get a sell-off or we're going to get a move to the upside. USD CAD, are we going to continue a rally up towards the next resistance here, 1.036, or are we going to break through 1.030? With Brent, that looks interesting at the 111 level. It's not ready yet though. 111, just under 112 with Brent, and WTI looking interesting as well. Where it is actually, Brent's really better. It's got a better setup there out of the two. Okay, and so with that, guys, we're going to move on to look at what major news we've got coming out today. Okay, so obviously we've got some news coming out very shortly. Additionally, guys, I think the majority of you have got this already, but if not, obviously if you're watching the video recording as well, make sure you take advantage of $20 trading credit on bettermarkets.com or binary.com as the new branding has. We've just launched the new website. So with bonus code 11121F20, Very simply, to get that, you just go to bettermarkets.com or binary.com, select sign up, open real money account, enter that bonus code 11121F20, so you get $20 trading credit to trade risk-free. Okay, so looking at key events, looking forward, guys, we're going to, today we've got, very shortly, in about half an hour's time, we've got the US core retail sales. That measures the change in the total value of sales at the retail level, excluding automobiles. So that's an important indicator of consumer spending. Also considered a pace indicator for the US economy. A higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar. A low than expected reading should be taken as bearish. So that's going to give us further direction about half an hour. Then at 2:55 this afternoon, we have the US Michigan Consumer Sentiment. That index rates the relative level of current and future economic conditions. There are two versions of this data released 2 weeks apart, the preliminary and revised. So the preliminary data tends to have a greater impact. The reading is compiled from from a survey of around 500 consumers. A higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar. A low than expected reading should be taken as bearish. Then we have Monday, moving to next week. We've got some key news next week, including the FOMC meeting. We've got the NY Empire State Manufacturing Index. That index rates the relative level of general business conditions in the New York State area. A level above 0.0 indicates improving conditions. Below indicates worsening conditions. A higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish for the US dollar. Then we have next Tuesday, we've got the US core CPI. So the core consumer price index measures the change in the price of goods and services, excluding food and energy. So the CPI measures price change from the perspective of the consumer. It is a key way to measure change in purchasing trends and inflation. Higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar. A lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish. Then moving on to next Wednesday, we've got US crude oil inventories. That data reports the number of barrels of crude oil commercial firms have in inventories. That's very important for your crude oil trades. Commercial firms report their inventory levels to the Energy Information Administration on a weekly basis. So a higher than expected reading is often taken as bearish for crude oil, a lower than expected reading taken as bullish. Next Wednesday, we also have at 7 p.m., we've got the FOMC statement. That is going to be massive. It's going to be a real market mover. That is going to be next Wednesday evening. Make sure, if you can, you're around to trade that 7 p.m. GMT, 2 p.m. ET. And FOMC committee is responsible for setting interest rates and deciding on the current and future direction of central banks' monetary policy. A press conference is held following the release of the FOMC minutes with Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke. His comments may determine a positive or negative impact on US dollar and precious metals. So it will have an impact. Next Thursday, 19th of September, we've got the US existing home sales. That report measures the change in the annualized number of existing residential buildings that were sold during the previous month. So this report helped to gauge the strength of the US housing market. It's a key indicator of overall economic strength. A higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar. A lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish. And then next Thursday, we've got the US natural gas storage. So the Energy Information Administration, the EIA, provide natural gas storage report measuring the change in the number of cubic feet of natural gas held in underground storage from the previous week. So whilst that is a US indicator, it does tend to have a greater impact on the CAD due to Canada's sizable energy sector. And that's important because the CAD is correlated to gold and oil prices. And then next Friday, we've got the CAD CPI as well. The index measures the change in the price of goods and services, excluding food and energy, from the perspective of the consumer. So that, of course, is a key way to measure change in purchasing trends and inflation. A higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the CAD. A lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish. So, guys, that's all the key news to look out for today and next week for all of your binary trading. Of course, those of you who are interested in taking it to the next level and joining us on our live trading room program, we have 2 live trading room sessions per week, and you also have exactly the same charts as everybody at the Gold and Silver Club and join the exclusive Gold and Silver Club community. You can do that very simply. Request information on our live trading room program. You can go to www.jointhegoldandsilverclub.com or contact us at 0207 193 0403 for our London office, +1 646 808 0403 for our New York office, and +27 11 083 8403 to contact us at our Johannesburg office. or of course just email us your questions at office@thegoldandsilverclub.com. If you do want to find out more information, so if you go to jointhegoldandsilverclub.com and just complete the form on that link to request additional information on our live trading room program. And of course, take advantage of our weekly newsletter. So subscribe to that for free weekly gold, silver, oil, commodity, currency news, live market analysis and prices. Okay, fantastic. Right, guys. Well, so with that, that is concluding today's wrap up. We wish you luck for the rest of the day's trading next week, and we will catch you back here same time next week at 12:30. Okay, guys, have a great weekend, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, and bye-bye. Cheers.